One of the most fun additions to Zenless Zone Zero in the version 1.4 is a brand new endgame mode, Deadly Assault. In Deadly Assault, you get to fight against 3 different bosses, and each one is going to offer you different buffs and also get some specific mechanics that reward you with performance points whenever you do it. And these performance points are going to be accounted for in your total score, and your number of stars are based on your total scores, which means that this is not a pure DPS check. And this is one of the reasons why I find Deadly Assault to be super fun and way better than Shield Defense itself. So Deadly Assault sounds way more appealing to me. Well, the rewards are not that appealing, to be honest. You get only 300 polychromes by doing a 6-star clear, but let's forget about it. The gameplay itself, the boss fights are super fun. So I decided to give it a twist, and instead of clearing using every single limited unit I have on my account, I decided to use the least amount of limited units to hit 9 stars clears. And as you can see on your screen, the only limited unit I used was Miyabi, doing pretty much a solo run against Bringer. So in this video, besides showcasing how broken Miyabi actually is, I'm going to share some tips and tricks so you can also hit 9 stars clears using whatever units you have on your account. I know that the maximum polychromes rewards go only up to 6 stars clears, but well, for those looking for 9 stars clears, for some extra merits points, or even Denny's, or just to flex around and show that you can hit 9 stars clears, this video is made for you. So let's start talking about Sacrifice, which honestly is one of the hardest boss fights between all of these 3. Bringer has a huge DPS check. I know that I said that Deadly Assault is not a DPS check, but Bringer is a huge DPS check. So Bringer has this chant mechanic that is going to reward performance points, where Bringer is going to teleport to one of the sides of the map and is going to summon a hand. And you need to kill this hand as fast as possible, because if you let it fully charge, Bringer is going to reset all of your crit rate buffs and also is going to stay on the air invulnerable while he's trying to hit you. All of these DPS checks make this fight one of the hardest one, just because of the huge downtime you can find if you lack damage to deal with the hand. But outside of that, once you have enough damage to deal with all these mechanics, Bringer itself is not a hard boss fight. But for more free-to-play or characters that are not fully invested, Bringer is going to be quite hard. Not to mention that the buff is quite weird and pretty much super tailored for Miyabi. You need to apply Attribute Anomaly or Disorder, and you're going to get crit rate by doing this. Not a single anomaly character is going to benefit from the crit rate outside of Miyabi. Honestly, if you don't own Miyabi, if you don't plan to pull her, then I would actually recommend you to use a sustained DPS here instead of Miyabi. It could be Ellen, but Ellen is a 1.0 character. Not everyone is going to own her. But you can also use Soldier 11, although Soldier 11 works better on the second boss fight. We're going to talk about it later. You can probably also use Sokaku here as a DPS, especially if you own her Mindscape 6, but I don't like playing Sokaku and I have no idea if it works or not. If you use Sokaku, if you have any experience with Sokaku with this boss fight, let me know in the comments down below how she fared against this. And this was pretty much a solo clear for Miyabi because my Sokaku is underleveled with bad discs. Yeah, Sokaku was mostly just activating Miyabi additional ability, and Miyabi was doing a solo clear, which let other support units to be available for other clears. When it comes to buffs, if you're playing Miyabi with another anomaly unit, then of course the Spirit Break is going to be the best pick for you because of the extra anomaly buildup that is going to help you get all the crit stats even faster. But outside of this, Swift Resolution is super solid and is the one that I used on my Miyabi solo clear. I don't recommend using Interrupt because the Bringer itself is not a really aggressive enemy, and not to mention that the chant mechanic is going to remove all of your stacks. The stacks only last for 15 seconds, but during the chant mechanic, Bringer is not going to hit you. Next up we have Pompey, and Pompey is actually quite easy as long as you can deal with all the attacks he's going to throw at you. Because trust me, he's quite relentless when it comes to trying to hit you. He finishes one attack and he's already going to start another one trying to hit you. So he's super aggressive. He can hit really hard because of the boss effect. He gets extra damage every 10 seconds, but remove this whenever you apply anomaly on them. Not to mention that you also get performance points whenever you apply anomaly to them, a total of 150 points. So for this fight, I would actually highly recommend you to use anomaly units, which means that Burnies is going to be one of the best picks here. But for those who don't own Burnies, this is the team composition that I used. Piper, Lucy, and Ben. Ben can offer some extra protection for Piper and also help with the fire build-up with Lucy. I'm not a huge fan of Piper's ultimate, but it is what it is. But I really like the dodge counter and all the A-frames you can find, even on her finisher animation after the spin. When it comes to buffs, if you're playing using anomaly units, then Spirit Break is going to be the best pick. It was the one I used with my Lucy, Ben, Piper team. And even though the disorder damage is not going to be that huge because neither Ben and Lucy are built for anomaly proficiency, the extra build-up is quite nice, especially because both Lucy and Ben don't have a huge build-up, and this means you can actually hit some extra anomalies, some extra disorders, and this is going to help your final damage against Pompey. If you're planning to use, for example, a sustained DPS unit, then Interrupt is actually going to work quite well. That's because, as I said, Pompey is super aggressive against you, so you're going to find a lot of window for you to keep doing dodge counters, defensive assists, and Soldier 11, for example, can easily benefit from both attack and crit damage. So I highly recommend you using Interrupt in case you're playing a Soldier 11 here, but if you're playing around Anomaly, then go for Spirit Break. The extra build-up helps you quite a lot. Lastly, we have Marionette, which is one of the easiest boss fights, at least for me. But there's still a lot of attacks that you need to keep dodging, so it takes some time for you to get the hang of it. But once you do, it's actually quite easy. If you plan to maximize your damage, you're going to need either an Ice or Ether unit, but as I said before, Bringer is quite hard when it comes to the DPS check. So I would first recommend you to save your Ice units for Bringer, and then the remaining units you can use here, which in this case is going to be Ju1. But in case you don't own G1, because just like Ellen, she's a 1.0 unit, I would actually recommend you using electric DPS units. And in this case, Harumasa actually works quite well. That's because Harumasa's area of attack on the slash is quite huge, and you can hit both the boss and the clones they're going to summon on the same slash. So this is quite good because it both going to help you with the performance points and also going to help you with the DPS points. But the only issue here, of course, is that Harumasa is going to get a little bit exposed thanks to the fact that you're going to be slashing the enemy instead of dodging. You get uninterrupted resistance, which is good for you, but taking free damage is not that good. So if you have any kind of protective unit like Caesar or Seth, I would recommend you using it so you can slash down without having to worry about taking too much damage. But I decided to use Embi and Nicole instead because this way I can showcase a true free-to-play plating. And when it comes to buffs, both Interrupt and Swift Resolution works fine. Marionettes are also quite aggressive and you can benefit from both the attack and crit damage on crit DPS units. But the only thing that I don't like is this extra damage that you're going to get here. It's going to give you 30% extra damage, but the boss effect itself is already going to give you a lot of damage. So for Harumasa, for example, I don't think you're going to benefit from this damage that much because it's already going to be quite saturated. So instead, I recommend going for Swift Resolution because you get unconditional attack buffs and of course the Decibel Generation. And the Decibel Generation is actually quite strong. You get around 3 stun windows on Marionettes, and not getting your ultimate available on each one of these stun windows can be quite harsh for your DPS. The only difference here is that since you need to use your ultimate to benefit from this extra attack damage, you need to use your ultimate right at the beginning of the stun rotation. So it can mess things a little bit, but trust me, the DPS is super worth it and increases the chances to hit your ultimate on every single stun window. Is way better than some extra damage on your basic attack, dash attack. Outside of this boss specific tips, the only thing I can recommend to you is to keep practicing and learn the enemy movements and patterns just to dodge as much as you can. There's a lot of room for improvements on these teams. I just decided to use a more free-to-play approach so you can pick up whatever you have on your account. Instead of Ben, you can use Bernice. Instead of Miyabi, you can use Ellen. There's a lot of room for you to improve these teams and get even easier clears. But since each account is going to be different, this here works as a baseline where you can work around and try to hit 9 stars clears. I'm going to leave you with the gameplay. The gameplay is a bit scuffed. I know there's some room for improvement, but this just shows you that once you master this team composition, this boss fight, you can hit 3 stars clears. Builds are at the end of the video, so I really hope this video can help you hit 9 stars clears on Deadly Assault. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, and also you can join the Discord server to share your Deadly Assault clears, team compositions that you used, and also ask questions about builds, teams, and even tips against boss fights. That's pretty much everything. Thanks for watching, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.
Yo! ンドもーらい
こっちだ。通行止めだ。立ってるだけで止められるか。
もうちょいストライクゾーン。
現場を片付けるぞ。
邪魔だ邪魔だ。今ですわ。ボコリ油断は
よーっとよい。
こういうのしっかり捕まってろ。は
俺はヘルメットをかぶってないな。
最後に笑うのは私ですわ。シートベルト締めとけ。
そら通行止めだ。
突っ込んでなさい。
ご安全に。
邪魔だ。このラウンドもーらい。もうちょい。大変結構ですわ。スパイラルエンジン。
立ってるだけで止められるか。
了解よ。あとは私に任せて。
いや
回避成功。いい調子。受けてみなさい。
息のいい的だ。
執行。
本気で行くか。
私が蹴りをつける。バイバイおバカさんたち。
ああ、全く見くびられたもんだ。へえ、やるね。やや
援護する。消えて。撃破する。
穴だらけだね。病人哀れになる。
クロスファイヤー。
本気で行くか。
私が蹴りを。集中砲火。行くわよ。
こいつが鶴を撃つ音聞いたことある？はっ よやはいやややてやうんよはて
立て直す。サンダー。
一撃離脱
ターゲットを排除する。
外さないんだな。
ターゲットロックオン。私が蹴りを。
穴だらけだね。
逃げようったって無駄よ。
一心不乱さすれば必中。はっ4人哀れみ乗る。てやはってやてんてや
しょうがないわね。
やててはってはやはててや
頭か畳みかける。